Welcome back in track number 1. Our guest today is Ragnar Heil. He is preparing his PowerPoint presentation, so we can have a small chat. So if you have questions, there is a button for Q&A. Please use this button for questions so we can bring it to the stage very easily. And yeah, Ragnar, I think you can introduce yourself, and I am hiding on the stage like every time because it's not your first time on the Team Summit, but it's for me the first time that we have an English speaking conference. So it's your stage, Ragnar, and if there are some problems, I'm in the back of the stage and I come to help you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Christian. I'm very happy to be here and talk about one of my favorite topics at all. It's all about Microsoft Teams devices. I'm going to share you the state of the art from my personal perspective, so it's going to be a very subjective summary, and it's also about hybrid work, and I'm going to show you why hybrid work is so important to me. Before I start, some words around myself. I'm an MVP, Office Apps and Services, since 4 years. I'm working at Quest Software, also since 4 years. I'm managing our partners in EMEA Central, which means Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Benelux. And I live between Hanover and Frankfurt. It's a little town called Kassel. You can see it on the left side. There's a beautiful castle in our area. I love to blog about traveling. I love to blog about headsets, and you can find everything at ragnar.blog. I'm also blogging around Microsoft 65 topics. At the right-hand side, ragnarheil.de, and you also find the Microsoft building in Munich, where I was employed for 11 years before I joined Quest. Next to it, my family, and I'm also owning a podcast around Microsoft 65 topics, usually around Teams. And I'm also having a bi-weekly news show with Alex Eggers. Maybe you've seen Alex, who was kicking off this beautiful conference. And every 2 weeks, I'm talking about the latest, hottest news around Microsoft topics, especially Teams, in our bi-weekly live stream. So, and everything what I'm telling you here is free. So all the options of live streaming and blogs and podcasts, everything is free. And on the top of my slide, you see the hybrid work tour. And this was amazing. I was in the bus, in caravans, traveling with Microsoft Germany in September last year, 20 to 24th September. And we were traveling in vans through Germany. So starting really from Hamburg and going down, going to Berlin, going to Leipzig, Kassel, the Franconia area, Lauda, and then down to Munich. And we have done a lot of experiences with hybrid work. And I would like to share also the experiences, what I've seen, which are very important for hybrid work, which means to set stage for you. Hybrid work for me is not only the combination of working in the office or home office. Hybrid work is for me actually working everywhere. And that's the most important message here. I really want to discuss with you the freedom of working everywhere, which can be in the van, outside. So I was spending this afternoon 2 hours outside in the beautiful sun, and it was so relaxing. I think I also got a little bit brown here, and I enjoy it so much. So for me, it's all about talking about freedom, because it's not the choice between office and home office. With all the great tools around Microsoft Teams and the devices, we can literally work everywhere. So it's going to be a lot about freedom. Before we go into my future trends, so the structure of my presentation, and also my demos, so you can also start praying to the demo gods, because I'm organizing a few demos here. It's all about people-centric meeting experiences, meeting room experiences. A meeting room can also be a home office room, and Microsoft wants to make sure that these people-centric meeting experiences outside, hybrid, in the office, shared meeting room, private home office, this should be first-hand reduction less reduction for in-room participants. In other words, it should be easier to join a Microsoft Teams meeting. It also should be easier to join Microsoft Teams meeting rooms. And here I'm showing you how proximity beaconing works. I'm showing you the companion features. So that's interesting how joining a Microsoft Teams room is going to be easier. The other point is we want to make meetings more inclusive and more interactive, because we all seen extremely boring meetings, and I want to talk with you about how to make meetings more attractive, less boring, more engaging, and it should be prevented that we go and disengage. And disengage mean close the microphone, mute the microphone, disable video, and then we do something else and spend the time with our emails. But here it's all about interactive meeting features, and here we also talk about whiteboarding and content capturing, and I will give you demos how this can look like. Third point, or maybe it's a similar point, increase the collaboration and increase the co-creation. So meetings are not only video and talking, it's not only pure communication, it's all about a creativity space, a brainstorming space, where you also can add things like Surface Hub for brainstorming. So add whiteboards, physical whiteboards, virtual whiteboards, Surface Hub, this kind of devices, because meetings are not made only for talking. I'm really into this whiteboarding part, because this can definitely increase interaction and make meetings more creative and also more innovative. These are going to be the topics what I'm going to show you in a few slides and also in live demos. Are there questions so far? And Christian, you need to help me because I cannot really see questions coming in. I'm trying to monitor questions. Currently, I don't see a question, so please share with me when you have questions, and it's always time to jump in, so please don't wait until the end. I'm going to share everything. Please share the questions to me directly.
So Ragnar, there are no questions in the Q&A part, so normally I'm reading the question in the end, but okay, feel free now, attendees, to ask questions directly, and then I will raise my hand and bring it to the stage. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. So Microsoft is telling the audience since a few years it's all about a mixture of individual workspaces like our home office space, and there are all the group spaces. And the individual spaces are the ones where you have personal devices like your audio devices, your headphones, like I'm having here, personal smartphones and so on. And then there are the shared devices which you leave in the meeting room. You don't take it with you, just leave them in the meeting room. And here I would like to show you about Teams room systems on Android. I'm going to show you Teams room systems on Windows. Unfortunately, I'm not owning a Surface Hub, so I'm going to skip the Surface Hub demo. But here I will show you some recommendations from my side around headset recommendation, speakerphone recommendation, Teams display recommendations, and then on the shared device part, we're going deeper into the Teams rooms, and we will talk about some vendors and some new products which are on the market here. And if you are currently in the phase of evaluating some products, let's have a conversation about the products, because I've tested a lot of products by myself. And just tell me what you're currently searching for, and then we can see how I can help you also with the decision process. Another document which is very which I would like to share with you because it's quite new. I think it's like 4 weeks old. That's the vision from Microsoft about the hybrid workplace. So hybrid workplace or hybrid work is the #1 topic for Microsoft in 2022. That's for sure. And they also have a vision, and you can find it here. So I'm not going through the document. It's a kind of white paper. I don't want to read it here, but it's something what you can download for free. So that's Microsoft's vision for an inclusive and modern hybrid workplace for everyone. So let's jump to the first trend, and the trend is called guest join. Guest join is something where in the past we only had like 2 different vendors. We only had Zoom and we only had WebEx. And now with this announcement from Lars Inspire, we've also seen that now BlueJean from Verizon are coming, and also GoToMeeting are coming, and so you can really combine these experiences directly into your Microsoft meeting room. So that's something what I personally really appreciate, because we are not forcing the Zoom users, we're not forcing the BlueJeans and WebEx and GoToMeeting users to convert into Teams. They can still use their product, their preferred video conference provider, and this can be integrated directly into the Microsoft Teams experience. So that's something which is very nice. Maybe they're going to expand it, but for now, these are the supported integrations. My question to you is there a need for you to have this kind of non-Teams integrations? Or do you say, listen, in my daily life, I'm working with Teams, my customers are using Teams, my partners are using Teams, my vendors are using Teams, so there is no need for an external integration. Are there some requirements on your side? Technically, I've seen it working, but in my daily life, I'm using when I'm using Zoom, then I'm using Zoom, but when I'm using Teams, I'm using Teams. So personally, I never really did this cross collaboration thing. It's a nice idea, but I never used it. So I would like to hear your thoughts if this is a real need from your market. Okay, so Christian says that a lot of customers of you are working with GoToMeeting. So Christian, would you use this GoToMeeting into integration, because they are not, they could also use Teams? Is it just the reason that GoToMeeting is more advanced, or they don't understand Teams? Because I'm always asking, why should we have this cross integration?
So we started 10 years ago building SharePoint software or software for SharePoint environments and on-premise software or online. And a lot of customers, they are still on the on-premise environment here in Germany, and they do not have Teams. Yeah, so of course they can use Teams like in a web application, but they have like big meeting rooms with these ultra expensive video conference systems. And we'd have to download, these client GoToMeeting or WebEx client, and then we install it and we just use their tools. And you cannot imagine how many clients I have, like Zoom. I have everything on my, and then you have this crazy, it's not working and you cannot connect your webcam. And if you can connect Teams, for example, with GoToMeeting, or for example, all my friends, they are working on the online marketing, community. Nobody of them are using Teams. They are all using Zoom. And if I can connect with them, perfect. For me, it's a perfect use case.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. There's also another question here. Why isn't AirMeet on the list? So we need AirMeet Teams integration. Yeah. No, that's very nice. I'm also playing around by integrating Skype for Consumer into my Teams meeting, because with Teams I can also have NEI integration, and then I'm enabling NEI in my Skype for Consumer, and I can easily, and it works really good to bring Skype user into my Teams meeting. But to be honest, that's for me a nice weekend experiment, but never use it in production live. But I just like to play around, and I see these kind of extensions.
Yeah, okay. I think if you bought that expensive hardware and it's quite working well, you do not want to replace it because of a new software. So you use it till it dies, and then you buy new Teams room systems. But that's go on.
That's a very good point. And I'm talking a lot about hardware in the next minutes. And the good thing about all the hardware conversations is that it's really open for many devices. So it's when we talk about camera system, they work with these devices. So all these cameras which I'm showing to you, they're all certified for Zoom, for WebEx, for GoToMeeting, for Google Meet. So it's not an investment that you only invest into the Microsoft Teams ecosystem. You could also use the same camera for these other players on the slide, plus Google. So that's something which is usually very, very great. There are some little things what I don't like. So for me personally, the switching experience is really nasty because if my system is configured for a Teams experience and I would like to change my room system into a Zoom room, I need to reset everything, and that's currently very nasty. I hope that the vendors and Microsoft listens, because on my PC, I can easily switch every day between Zoom, Teams, WebEx. But on a room system, to switch between a Zoom room and a Microsoft Teams room, you need to reset the whole system, and that takes, I don't know, minimum 50 minutes. So that's something where I see a lot of room for improvement. But the vendors have done it this way that it's not easy to change it. So it's the difficultness is done by design. I'm sorry to say it, but we're here in a close group and we can talk honestly. What I'm also seeing as a trend is a new openness of alliances and partners. Sometimes people or companies are competing. EPOS is partnering with audio codes. There's also a new partnership between EPOS and Lenovo. Jabra has a partnership with Novo. So what I'm seeing is that they all want to gain more market share, also in each different kind of meeting room system. So there is the Microsoft Teams rooms on Android, Microsoft Teams rooms on Windows, small rooms, medium room, large rooms, and a lot of companies are doing alliances to cover all these huge pieces, the huddle room, the small, medium, and large room. And when they don't have the hardware, then they need to go for alliances. So that's something what I'm seeing, and this works also extremely well, because at the end you get completeness. So that's a trend what I haven't seen so much in the past, but that's something which is now on my radar. And oops, wrong direction. Another thing is the feature parity topic. Feature parity is a wonderful topic. I need to go here into the different slides, but this will take like 10 minutes to compare Microsoft Teams on Android and Microsoft Teams on Windows. But in general, every single 2 months, Android gets more features, and then Windows gets more features. So it's always like a rabbit, and and I don't know how to say it in English, but it's always a race. But currently, my personal opinion is here, Microsoft Teams on Windows is currently winning. That's what I'm seeing. So if I would need to choose between Windows and Android, I would go for the Windows option. Yes, I'm fully aware that you need more devices. It's definitely a more complex system. Let me give you an example how it looks like. So for an Android system, for example, let's take the EPOS, which is a very small camera. On the EPOS system, you just need this EPOS camera, and then you have everything what you need. So you just need a power cable, Ethernet, and then an HDMI cable which goes directly to the monitor, and the Android is completely built into this camera. But the thing is, you always need a here a speakerphone. Microphones are not included, so you need to attach a speakerphone. But this is something what is very small, and the complete Android is attached. And this would only work together with a speakerphone. Let's say with the EPOS. Let's get it sharp. Oh, there's a cable which prevents sharpness. So that's the EPOS one, which is recommended. It's a very nice speakerphone, and this is a device which I really like. It's one of my favorite ones for Android, but sometimes you need more, and then the choice is to go on the Windows system. And my preferred system for Windows is always the Lenovo ThinkSmart Hub, or the newer one called ThinkSmart Core. And this can power all the leading devices. So here, this is going to power currently a Poly Studio USB. It can also power, I've got a light here, it can also power a Jabra Panacast 50, which is a wonderful device, and I'm also powering the Logitech Rally Bar. So all three devices can be used on this Windows machine. And one of the biggest benefits is here, note to myself, please clean the devices before you start a presentation. The biggest value is here, yes, you have the same kind of main navigation parts, like ad hoc meetings, calling, presenting, everything is the same. But the biggest difference here on a Windows is if you go into the system settings, and I need to move away that you cannot see my password. The biggest difference, which is very important for me, is one thing. Just give me a second. One other password. And this is maybe for you, if you don't know these Teams rooms, this is an eye opener. The most important thing is there is a Windows running, Windows 11 or Windows 10. Currently, I'm running Windows 10 because there are still some issues on Windows 11. And here, the biggest benefit of having Windows running is you can also always have debugging tools. You can easily run a team viewer on it. Or my Poly camera has got a special Poly app, and with this app, I can configure my Poly camera, or my my camera from Jabra has got a dedicated Jabra app, or my camera from Logitech has got a dedicated app. So, and this is so much easier to control it, because on Android, all these nice apps from Poly, from Logitech, from Jabra, they don't run because you only have this pure Android interface. So all these controls and settings, they are so much more powerful, and everything what you can do on a Windows machine is here possible. So that's the biggest value. But of course, you need to pay the Lenovo device, and then on top, the camera system. Well, the screen is the cheapest part, but this would be the disadvantage. You need to buy the camera system plus the Windows 10. And if you go on the Android road, then you just need this device plus the monitor plus a very nice remote control, which look like this. And that's actually all what you need. Just remote control, camera, and then a monitor. So that's a very big difference. Are there questions so far? Proximity join would be the next topic. Christian, okay, I see that. I need to share my screen again.
Yeah, I closed your screen because I want to see your hardware.
Okay, no, that's great.
I
Please
bought,
do it.
I bought a Logitech. What is it? Rally bar system last week. What do you think about that?
It's great.
Yeah.
Did you buy the Logitech Rally Bar Mini or the larger one?
No, the big one. I have it from Arik, because we have that new workshop part in the summits, and now we have a great workshop room here in the new studio. And I didn't configure it yet, but in the first session with Alexander Eggers, he said on Windows there is now this dashboard screen, but I bought two 65-inch monitor, but he said to me that it's too small.
That's a wonderful thing. Yeah, it's always so the golden rule. It's always too small. Yeah, that's for sure. What I can also show you here. Let me just go into my admin center, and let me. So what I really like about the Logitech Rally Bar, and now I'm also going away here from the sharing, is that it's really from the sound perspective, from the sole loudspeaker part, it has got the very best sound. So the sound is very immersive, very large, but it's a very large device. So that's a device which you are not going to carry around. So that's going to stay in the meeting room, and you're not going to move it around. But the quality here is very, very high. The zoom is very impressive, and you can also, with the Logitech Rally, you can also move around between a speaker view and a group view. That's a trend, what I'm currently seeing at every kind of device. You always switch between the group view, where you have everybody included. It's very inclusive. So from the left part of the room to the right part of the room, everybody's there. And you can also go into the configuration. And that's the nice thing about Windows, because if you have the Windows device like from Lenovo, you can easily go into the configuration part and then say, okay, now I want to do speaker tracking. And with speaker tracking, it always follows the speaker. And with group tracking, it always stays in the group. Another thing which you can do in the configuration tool is boost your voice, or give your voice more bass, or reduce the background noise, or reduce or do an acoustic fence where you don't hear when somebody in the corner is talking or organizing coffee. So there's a lot of technology in this app, but actually you always need to open this app, and that's the reason why I'm recommending the Windows Microsoft Teams rooms on Windows, because on the Android, it's just too less features. I need these apps. I need these very, very special apps to get the most out of it. So Logitech has the highest price here. I think it's around 3,500, 3,800. Great microphones, great loudspeakers, wonderful camera. And yeah, so that's one of the leading ones. A little bit cheaper is the Poly Studio USB. That's on the market since 2 years. So that's on the market since 1 year. That's since 2 years, and the price tag is 990. So that's less cheaper, but still good loudspeakers, very good microphone quality, and the camera is also able to do this group view, group framing, and also pointing to the speaker. So that's a great recommendation. And for the 1000 area, you also would get the Jabra. And the great thing about the Jabra is here it has three cameras here, and it can really get the whole room out of it. So the whole room is going to be covered with this field of view, and you can also use it for whiteboarding. So that's the only camera which can do whiteboarding by default. For the other systems, you need to have a whiteboarding camera and the classic video camera system. That's a big value of the Jabra. Loudspeakers are fine. It looks beautiful. That's in the 1000 area. These are my 3 main recommendations. Okay, I was starting to show you my slide about proximity join. Let me give you a concrete example how this looks like. Proximity join. Let's do an example. So let's see how this works. This is my iPad. Hopefully you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
So let's make it a little bit sharper. That is currently my iPad. In my iPad, there is a button called join this meeting, this meeting. And here at this button where you would actually go and start the meeting, there is a button called add a room. And here, automatically, it discovers my room. So here there is written conference room René, which is a beautiful mountain in the Seattle area. And it discovers by proximity, by distance, that this room is the closest one. And here, I just click on it and I click on join this room. And immediately, it is going to add me to the meeting. And then let me just do it again.
It worked for the first time. I saw it.
Yeah. Okay. Once again. Okay. Once again. So join the meeting. Click. Go to the room. Yes. Join the room. Okay. Here we are. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Now we are running into an issue here of Microsoft Teams. Okay. Last try. I'm trying to join this room. It is connecting, but then it is stopping here. That's a little bit ugly. So Teams is starting and then it's stopping in the same second.
Is it available for the Teams on Android as well, or is it only for Teams on Windows?
On both, yeah. Both. It's available both. So, okay, hopefully you get the idea. So the idea is that you take out your smartphone, your Android, your iPhone, your iPad, and then while you're going into the meeting room, you are already joining. Because, and the $1 million question is, why should you use your smartphone to join a meeting? Because this is a companion device. You're not only able to join a meeting with your device, you can also use it to control it. And this means if you have your favorite PowerPoint presentation on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your Android, you can share your presentation, which is stored on your device in your meeting room. And that's the reason why the smartphones are now developing into a companion device. That's very important. So value number one is the proximity join. So you can join your meeting without touching. You join your personal device and start a meeting in the meeting room experience. Value number two, you just do screen sharing, fire up a PowerPoint or join a chat conversation. But this is now the trend. Smartphones and tablets are going to be the companion devices for your Microsoft Teams room experience, because the Microsoft Teams rooms have far less features, and that's something which maybe surprises you, but but if I go back into my camera, you can definitely see that there are far less features. Okay. Okay. So what I would like to say is here you can start a talk meeting, and that is something which is new. That's something what we didn't have a few weeks ago, and that's something where you can start a talk meeting immediately. And the other good news is here you can also have now the front row. And front row was a big announcement a couple of weeks ago. Everybody was extremely fancy about getting to use the whole front row experience. Let me just get a little bit of my light here, otherwise it's too much. So with the new front row experience, the biggest value is that you have now here on the bottom, you have the audience, like myself and the other guys, and here on the left hand side you've got the raised hands. So raised hands is now part of the front row experience, and on the right hand side you can see the chat windows. So you've got in the middle slides, on the left raised hands, on the right chat, and on the bottom you've got the meeting participants. And in the past you didn't see them. So in the past it was just slides or just faces, but you didn't see the chats, you didn't see the raised hands. The raised hands is going to move away. It's going to be Microsoft Loop, which you can see here. But this is something what we can see in the future. What else did change? So we have now here emojis. That's something which is new. So we can do raised hands now. That's a feature what we didn't have in the past. And then on the Teams device, you can easily see that there is now the raised hands. What's also new is now we can start and record from the Teams room. Super innovative. We can record a meeting. That's new. And we can also change cameras. So if I want to move away from the Polycom Studio to the Ready Bar, that's also possible. That's now the Ready Bar. And you can switch cameras now. So a lot of new features. So this was rolled out in February for Windows, and for Android, we've seen a rollout 2 days ago. So lots of new features. But at the end, you need to decide if you would like to invest into this Microsoft Teams rooms, because it's definitely owns less features than the other part. So people can be happy to have Teams rooms because it's easy to use, but always keep in mind that it's easy to use, but on the other hand, also very, very challenging, because they have less features than in the Microsoft Teams client on Windows, on Mac, less features than in the Android and in the iPhone app. So that's something what I'm always seeing. So it's a combination in the past or in the pre-pandemic times, when we didn't have so much experience around Teams. A lot of people say, listen, we want a very super easy experience, and Microsoft Teams rooms is so simple that it's easy to use. But now, with 2 years of home office, we are so experienced in Teams that people maybe are disappointed when they go to a Teams room and see that there are far less features than in the Teams app. So that's a tension which I'm seeing. Please share with me if you see the same, or if this is just how it should work. Okay, let's move on. Proximity join, you've seen.
So we have,
yeah, please.
Ragnar, we have a question from John, and he asked, what are your thoughts on the Jabra's panelcast? Was it the panelcast you presented? Yeah, so you like it.
I like it, exactly. Yeah. I've got two. I've got the webcam version, which is the Panacast 20, which is a very, very high quality webcam. It's a bit more expensive than the other ones for €100, but the Panacast 50 sounds great, wonderful microphones, and it's the only one which is able to do whiteboarding and can be used as a video camera. Because if you decide to go for the Microsoft Teams room experience, then whiteboarding is part of it. Let me just move to the next slide, virtual whiteboarding, because then I can show you how this works, because that's the topic for inclusion, because you want to make sure that your meetings are going to be attractive, interactive, and here you would need whiteboards, and a lot of companies have these whiteboards in the room. So let me just show you something. On my wall, there is a whiteboard, and there are whiteboard cameras. One is from Logitech, and the one is from Huddly. And then there is a third whiteboard camera, which is from Jabra called Panacast 50. And what I'm doing now is I'm clicking here on my Teams room system, and I'm clicking on sharing. And now hopefully this is going to look good. I'm zooming now onto my screen. Hopefully it's not too wide, but I'm standing now on my whiteboard, and I'm writing, hopefully you can read it, Hello International Teams Day. Hopefully you can read it, and it's not too.
No, yeah, I cannot see it. It's
you cannot see it. It's too wide, yeah. So that's always an issue. So okay, here you can see it. Hopefully, oh yeah, that's currently mirrored. So just move it around. But the video
it's correct. You only see it in AirMeet mirrored.
Perfect.
We see it correctly.
Yeah. So what this technology does, it's going to crop. It's going to crop the room. So I've got a room, and there's the whiteboard. So it's going to crop the whiteboard and digitalize it, and it's also going to enhance all the colors. And the great thing is, even if I'm standing in front of the whiteboard with my really large bag, I've got a very large bag, it is visible. So I'm not hiding any kind of whiteboarding writings, because the camera is just on the top of the wall. The camera is installed here on the ceiling, and it can go directly to the whiteboard, and you can reuse your existing whiteboards. So there's no need to put your whiteboards away. You can still use it, and it's going to be inclusive, because your other colleagues which are joining remotely can can participate, they can paint, and that's very important for inclusive hybrid meetings to have this kind of whiteboarding embedded. That makes meetings more interactive, more engaging, and that's called intelligent capturing. Christian, how much time do I have left?
So 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay.
But you can have 5 or
okay.
10.
So another trend which I'm not going to demo because unfortunately I'm not owning a Surface Hub is that finally we can also have the Surface Hub integrated into Microsoft Teams rooms, and it can also be managed in Microsoft Teams Admin Center. So that's something which is new. Surface Hub is always a wonderful product, but in the past it was not able to be managed in the Teams Admin Center. That's something which is new. That is now another picture from the front row experience. I was showing you how the front row looks like. With on the left, you've got the red hands and the emojis. In the middle, you've got your PowerPoint slides. Then you have the chats, and then on the bottom you have these pictures. What we're currently missing is a so-called segmented view. So what we're still missing to get this kind of experience is to cut people into parts or into slices and make them all in the average size. And the biggest value is here that, for example, Christian, if you have a meeting room, and in the meeting room table, it's a long table, maybe a Puchin table, very long, and you've got 10 people sitting on the table. If the camera would be in the front, then the two or four people in the front would be visible super well, but the people in the back are nearly hidden because it's a very long table. And this technology, which is currently on the way to get released, is cutting every person out and equalize them and putting them on the front row. In Germany, we would say Theke, it's really the front row, and that everybody would be in the same level, the same size. So it's a way of equalizing people, and it's going to look beautiful. But you need very advanced cameras. But the leading ones, like the Poly is currently offering their E70 camera, and the Jabra Panacast is also ready for this intelligent camera experience. They're able to cut the long meeting table into parts and then put everybody into the front row. And that's Microsoft's visions of making video meetings more inclusive and not hiding people, giving everybody visibility and putting them on the same front row. So that's something which is coming out soon. The front row layout is already there, but the segmentation is still missing, both for Windows and for Android. It's missing, but this is the biggest bet for Microsoft regarding Teams Room. Yeah. So that's a picture where you can see that these four people are sitting in the same room, and here August is in the back, and he's cut out, and he's going to be, and when he speaks, he gets a more prominent view. So we had gallery view, we had large gallery view, and together mode, and the layout number 4 is called now front row mode. Another trend, Cortana is back. Cortana is not competing anymore with Alexa. It's not competing anymore with Siri and Google Assistant. Cortana is only usable now in the context of Microsoft Teams, and you can ask Cortana to join your meeting, to finish a meeting. You can ask them, hey, please add Christian to my Microsoft Teams ABC, and also please tell Christian that I'm running 5 minutes late to join my meeting. So Cortana has got a strong future in providing a touchless experience, because you just talk to her and then she's going to message people, and that's very helpful, especially when you're driving in a car. You say, "Hey Cortana, please tell Christian I'm running 5 minutes late." So that's something which is now embedded into the Microsoft Teams room experience. Another trend: kits for every room size. So the vendors are currently baking kits for huddle rooms, small rooms, medium room, large room sizes, with different kind of price tags, different kind of devices. But they really want to make sure that the standards from Microsoft are fulfilled, and they want to offer for different prices for every different room size kits, because there is no single system which fits to every room size. So you definitely need good consulting to find the right camera system for the right room size. Poly is here leading, and the others are having this alliances and partnerships to also have kits for all room sizes. Okay, I'm going to skip this one. On the headset side, there are no dongles anymore. So in the future, only Teams devices got certified when they had dongles. This is now over, and we are going to see headsets without dongles. I don't know if this is good or bad, because I like dongles because it was always easier to pair and the security was higher and the quality was higher. So not really sure if this is a good or bad thing. And another trend is intelligent speaker phones. There is one from Yearlink and one from EPOS. That's quite interesting. It's going to be launched. It's going to be launched for Europe. I cannot tell the exact day. Let's say late spring. Then we have the speaker phones, and with the speaker phones, you can have in a Microsoft Teams room, and they will recognize each single voice in a Teams room, because in the home office times, when everybody dialed in from the home office, Teams could do a nice transcription because everybody dialed in individually. But now when we go back to the office, maybe we have 5 people or 10 people in the room, and you still want to do a nice meeting transcription. And with the new generation of speakerphones, they can transcribe it and really make sure that they assign the right names to the right part of your message. And here they are, and that's something what is available since 1 year in the US, and this is coming now to European tenants in the next weeks. So it's all about having inclusive meetings, that everybody is heard, that everybody is transcribed, and not only the person who started the meeting, but everybody should be transcribed. So again, automation, transcription, and more inclusive meetings. Last but not least, I see a movement around Teams panels. So in the past, we only had panels here from companies like Lenovo, the smart little displays where I can start a meeting and start a call and see my calendar, and also do chats on the small devices. And now we're seeing new players on the market like Logitech. They have a nice panel also for booking meeting rooms and seeing who's currently in my room, and I would like to book a meeting room slot. So here we're seeing new players. In the past, it was the area of Crestron, and now we have the Yearlink and Logitech who are offering this meeting room panels, which you can put on your door of your meeting room. And there are also other players like Neat who are going into this experience where you just need this kind of device. The Neat device is larger, and you don't need cameras, you don't need microphone, everything is included. So it's more or less a very large tablet and designed for Teams. The question is, why do you need it? Because you can also use a nice tablet, but a tablet always disrupts you, because a tablet has got news, and we get news around war and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and this is only designed for Zoom and for Teams, and we are not getting disruption from social media. And if you find this a value, then you should look for this kind of displays which don't interrupt you with news and chats. Maybe this is going to give you also freedom, because less multitasking and less focusing on your meeting partner and collaboration. Let me know if this convinces you. But that's what I would like to share with you as trends. Again, the links to our Alexander Ragnar show, where we invite you every second week. There's also a great LinkedIn group around selling Microsoft Teams rooms, and one wonderful show from Graham Walsh, who's now part of Neat, called Microsoft Teams Ask Me Anything. I think that's on a bi-weekly level. So these are my top recommendations around Microsoft Teams rooms. If you have any questions, please come to me immediately. It's easy to find me. And thanks for being here and joining this wonderful conference.
So Thank you very much, Ragnar. I see you have more meeting room systems than I have here in my studio. But now I have the Logitech one, and I will play around with it next week when the summit
very
is
good
over.
Choice.
Yeah. I think that we have that whiteboarding camera as well, but Arik said it is not available in that Android thing. It will come end of the month or next month. I hope in June.
I haven't heard something on the roadmap. So whiteboarding is currently only available on the Windows system and not on the Android part. That's correct.
Yeah, it is on the roadmap. Arik said they will release it end of March, but we know it's June then, not end of March. But that's okay for me. Yeah, so it's always the same. Okay, so we are on the end of the session, and we had a lot of questions during the session. So I have to go to that, this sponsor session in the lunchtime, or here is it midnight time because it's quite late. And yeah, Ragnar, thank you for joining the International Team Summit. Hope we see you next time again. And I know we see you in the M365 Summit, but it's a German conference. So for the international attendees here, learn a little bit German. No, that I'm joking. Yeah, there are a lot of conferences in English, so we have one in German. That's a good idea as well. Okay, so we will end that session. Thank you very much. I see you are the guy to ask when I need another conference room in my office.
Absolutely,
in my new office in Wismar. We talk then. Okay, thanks, Ragnar, and see you on the next session in the in the lunch pitch or night pitch. I'm very interested what I see today from our sponsors. So bye-bye.
Bye-bye.